welcome to Sports Talk, a wrap-up of the fall sports season here at East Brunswick High School. Hi, I'm Ken Saroka, and I'm joined in studio by a neighbor who lives down the street from me, as well as the athletics director, supervisor of athletics, Frank Malta. And Frank, this has to be more of a normal athletics year than what we went through last year with all the cancellations and the shifting of the schedules. From an administrator's perspective, is it comfortable, or are we still kind of worried about things and you still have issues, aside from the football field issue, to deal with?
No, this fall was great. I mean, this fall got us back to, I think, what was normal, prior to COVID. We were able to play all of our tournaments, play our full schedules, all of our lower levels played. So it was really fantastic. And it was a breath of fresh air, I think, to get everybody back into school, get our kids back on the field. There's nothing like the hustle and bustle of, at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock after school, cars filling up the parking lot, and then kids getting out on the field to play.
And as a parent of an athlete now playing in the East Brunswick system here, to see the teams participating, see the coaches out there, it felt normal. Yeah. And maybe it's an overused word at this point, but it felt good. It felt kind of like back to that norm of pre-COVID.
Yeah, I don't think we can use the word normal too much right now. I think, for everything that we went through, and, now we seem to be coming out of it, and this fall was kind of, I think, the first step, in getting there. And it was fun, and it was very successful. I think, it seems like our kids were, locked away, and then, they knocked down the door to get back out on the field, and they really made an impact this fall. It was really fun to see.
The overall records of all the sports teams are incredible. Yeah. Let's start first with the biggest news, I guess, would be the girls' gymnastics team.
Fantastic.
And they are not only GMC champions, but you had state champions, you had individual championships won here. Talk about that gymnastics team, because last year they got really pushed around by that schedule. They really didn't have much of a season, if anything, last year. Yeah,
last year they had the pods, and that was their tournament. And I think that was a disappointment to, our coaches, to our girls, because they knew how special they were, and I think they got out on the mats this year, out into the gymnasium, and they really showed what they were about. I mean, they won everything that you could possibly win this year, and they did it handily. They did it very easily. And to watch our girls, they were special. They were some fantastic athletes. They put on a show every time, they performed. And I think for us, and as we were moving around the state and going to some of the different tournaments to watch the performances, it was like the gym stopped when our girls performed. It was pretty special to see. Our girls did a fantastic job.
You had an overall state champion, all-around state champion in Karina Munoz. Yep. She scores the highest ever on the floor exercise recorded at that state level. She wins three events overall and wins the overall title. Yeah. That's just an incredible performance, considering that her situation, that she was injured her sophomore year, and then last year being cut up by the pods, as you said, and to finally get that chance.
Yep. I think for her, I mean, she was just remarkable. I mean, she's going to Iowa, and deservedly so. When I said earlier about other teams watching us and everybody in the gym watching us, every time she performed one of her 4 routines, no matter what was going on in the gym, all eyes were fixed on her, and she was incredible. She really is she's a tremendous athlete, and really she kind of put that team on her back, and really, I think everybody. She was the NJ.com Gymnast of the Year last year, so I think returning for her. She was the best gymnast in the state, and she proved that again this year, and she did handily so.
And Coach Nadine Murray gets the nod as GMC Coach of the Year for gymnastics. People don't realize that back in the 70s, or go back that far, boys gymnastics in East Brunswick was
I've heard that
was killer. I mean, you look at the banner that's up there on the walls. And 17 out of 19 years we won the state championships, and then it flips to a girls' sport, probably in that 80s time period. Trying to balance out the sports between girls and boys, Title IX, and we get these great moments where you get that one special group where it pulls and pulls off, in this case, a state championship.
Yes, our girls, not only Karina, but Catherine McSweeney, Sasha Marcinzik, Ariana McSweeney, they were top performers in the state. They all finished in the top 20 in the state as all-around gymnasts. So, this was a special group of girls that really performed very well in the GMC, in the sections, and then, of course, at the state and individual tournaments. They were remarkable to watch. They really had a great year, and I was very happy for them because they had so much fun performing. And they had so much fun with each other. And then when the end result was them winning everything that they could possibly win, I just thought it was apropos. They also won the sportsmanship in the GMC this year, which, it doesn't always go to the best team. But I think our girls were they just exhibited so many of those sportsmanship traits that, I don't know, I think it was just, they even won the food drive at the GMC. So they really won everything that they could possibly win, and they were just a fantastic group of girls.
And they said with the season last year, I mean, that just makes it even more special, is that they get the full season in and they get to perform at that level. Yeah, I know that was something. Like I said, that was something for them. They were very disappointed last year with the pod, and that they didn't get an opportunity to really get out into the state and compete against some of the top teams. And this year they were able to do that, and this year they were able to outperform all of them. So it was great to watch them. And our second team that we're going to talk about is the girls volleyball team. And this is a team that went 24-1. Unfortunately, that loss came in their last match in the state semifinals. They lost to a very, very talented Williamstown team. And our girls volleyball team this year, they were also very exciting to see. As I'm getting into this role, haven't really gotten an opportunity to watch a lot of volleyball, boys or girls. Boys compete in the spring, and it's a very exciting sport. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed watching it. I really enjoyed watching it well played, and our girls did that. They were very good. They played well together. Christian Portera did a great job, I think, of incorporating a lot of different girls into the lineup. Getting them in and out, kind of getting them in and out to compete with their strengths. And they were a great group to watch, and a great group to, they won the GMC, they won the Red Division, and they just had a fantastic year. Yeah, and they said getting to the semifinals there. And during the course of that run, 24-1 was the record. They only lost 3 sets in the entirety of that run prior to getting swept in that match against Williamstown. Yeah, and unfortunately, I think Williamstown kind of did to us what we have done to so many teams. They swept us. But our girls competed. Look, they had nothing to hang their heads about. They had a great year. They did some fantastic things. And I know that just knowing them as competitors, I know they don't take solace in that. But I think when watching them compete all year, they had a fantastic year and just probably came up a little short to what they expected or what they wanted. And Coach Portera, Coach of the Year. Yeah, he's done a fantastic job. They won the section last year, and that was the furthest that they could go in dealing with COVID last year. So they were able to run it back this year. They won the section again, obviously, and just had a fantastic year. Christian's done a great job with this group of girls, and like I said, this was a very talented group of young ladies. And Haley Bennis, Paige Anania, Isabel Sapienza were all first-team GMC players. Paige Anania also had 500 kills in her career, which is a remarkable accomplishment for her. And then Christian, of course, was the GMC Coach of the Year again. So, a great group of girls. And like I said, they had a great run, but they lost to a very talented Williamstown team. I've been working in the district for 28 years, and I can remember when volleyball first was introduced, it was like, where is this coming from? Because we're not in California, we're not playing, we don't have a volleyball background here. And the boys had some early success, and then the girls took a nice little run, and then the boys, and it's building and building. Oh, yeah. Are you aware of any kind of AAU programs or feeder programs that these athletes can play in the off season? Because to perform at that level, these girls must be playing not necessarily full time all year round, but they must be playing elsewhere. Oh, yeah. Travel volleyball is big. One of our girls, Haley Bennis, she actually played a beach volleyball on a beach volleyball travel team. Is going to college for that out in Santa Clara. But yeah, most of our girls do play in the off season. They play year round. And they compete, and I think that's why you see the skill level getting so high. I think volleyball has been a very popular sport at a lot of different high schools. We have a lot of kids that come out for our teams, and I think that's across the state as well. Yeah, it's one of those exciting sports where it's action. There's the net play. There's diving for ball. I mean, this is not a cerebral sport. This is an active sport, and that's kind of watching it is fun. And we have done games on EBTV in the past, so hopefully we'll get some in
the strategy of it as well, to watch the ball kind of get moved around and to let our girls pick out the weakness, I think, very easily from our opponents, and they do a great job of setting and getting the ball to where they want to get it to have an opportunity to score. We've done a very good job, and when I've sat in the gym and I've watched them, you see them communicate on the court, and it's pretty fun to watch because they play it so well, but yet strategically they can really move the ball around and put themselves in a great spot to score.
And like our girls volleyball team, the girls field hockey team.
Yeah.
That one loss at the end, 19-1.
Yep.
If you look at it, the first three teams we've talked about here, we've got 50 wins and 2 losses.
Yeah.
And that's just mind-boggling
Those 3 sports we dominated. I think field hockey as well. Unfortunately, we came up against a very talented Montgomery team. But all year long, we really dominated the Red Division. We dominated the GMC. I've gotten to see these girls play for quite some time, and we've really reversed. We reversed the sides of it, because I think when these girls were younger, a lot of them were playing up top on varsity, and we were kind of getting dominated a little bit because we were younger, a little weaker. Some of the teams we were playing were just bigger, stronger, faster girls, and this year we put it all together. And I think Coach Gannett did a great job too. She implemented and got a lot of our seniors. I think we had 14 seniors on our team this year, and she did a great job of getting them in and out. Allowing them to play and keeping fresh legs on the field. I think that's why we were able to move the ball so well. Natalie Arnold was just a higher level scorer. I mean, she hit the ball. You didn't see many kids hit the ball the way that she did, in the last 2 years. And I think this year she really became a dominant force for us.
GMC Player of the Year?
Oh, yeah, she was fantastic and well-deserved. Well-deserved. There was no one close that I saw in the GMC this year that played on her level. She was just a different player. And, it was fun to watch these girls get on that run. It was fun to watch them do this as seniors. And I think they did a lot of learning, and maybe learning the hard way as younger girls. And then this year as senior players, they really dominated the GMC and, got themselves into the tournament. And I think really just they dominated the tournament as well. They had a lot of shutouts. They had a lot of games where they won by 4 or 5 goals. They did just a tremendous job on the field.
And a quick shout out to the 8th grade field hockey team. Coach Tortoroff, Cindy Tortoroff. My daughter plays on that team. Little shout out there. They were 9-3-2, if I remember correct, got everything right. 9-3-2 for a group of girls who literally are picking up the sport brand new at this point in time. So, and Coach Cindy's so great teaching the game. And that's the thing, to have now that group move up into 9th grade, into the JV, and the JV's moving up. I mean, this could be that feeder system where you see dominance, not just, for now, but dominance going forward. And you said 14 seniors. Well, now take your JVs and put them on that team.
And it's funny you say that, because these 14 seniors, a lot of them started playing when they were in 6th grade. They did some of the rec stuff with Cindy Todorov. And I think that really that got the bug in them. They started playing. They loved the game. They stuck with it. And when you stick with it and you learn the skills at that age, you can just kind of keep on building upon that. As they get on through the years. And as seniors this year, they did a great job. This group of girls really stayed together and really just kind of came up together over the last 6 or 7 years.
And you have one that's going to sign and go to Rutgers, play Rutgers?
Yes.
Rutgers being in the NCAA tournament. I think they're playing this weekend against Liberty in the second round or third round in the tournament.
They were the 1 seed. They're very good this year, Rutgers. They dominated the Big Ten. They did a great job this year, and I think Natalie's got a great opportunity ahead of her. Great challenge as well. Because there's some really good field hockey in the Big Ten and some really great field hockey.
I had a chance. Took my daughter. Coach Cindy wanted us to go watch a Rutgers game.
We've gone over there.
Oh my! Just the speed, the skill. It's a whole new level. But it was
much different.
It was so great to watch and get to learn the game, because many times we've been asked to cover field hockey games, and I don't know the game, so I didn't feel comfortable. doing that. But now, as a parent watching the game, it'd be fun to broadcast more of these games, to include that in our roster of fall sports. On November 10th, there was a signing ceremony at East Brunswick High School. You had several athletes committing to play at the next level. So you talk about what goes into that ceremony and these wonderful athletes that are going to be moving on and playing at college level.
So on November 10th, we had our signing day. We had 5 young ladies sign their national letter of intent. And it's a great opportunity. It lasts about an hour in our school. Our girls, the 5 girls that signed, they invited family, friends. We took a lot of pictures. Had a lot of we just talked to them a little bit, about what they have in front of them, everything that they've earned. I think the signing day ceremony it's kind of a culmination of everything you've been able to do, as you're trying to grow up and get to the next level with the sport that you love, and how much hard work and perseverance has to go into it. But I always look at it as an opportunity, because you've worked to that point, and now you're starting at the bottom again. You're the bottom dog instead of the top dog, and you got to go prove yourself all over again. I think that's for these athletes, these young ladies, I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air, because they're very talented and very good at what they do. And now they have an opportunity, to go prove it again at the next level. And I'll just tell you who those 5 girls are. Natalie Arnold is going to Rutgers, and she's going to be playing field hockey. Haley Bennis is going to Santa Clara for beach volleyball. Lana Marie Cepeda is going to Frostburg University for tumbling. Allison Gilbert is going to Rhode Island for soccer. And Karina Munoz signed at Iowa. And of course, as we spoke earlier, she's going to compete in gymnastics.
Congratulations, and look forward to finding these people coming, on the Big Ten network or any other networks, finding their names.
Very well deserved. These were not only young ladies that were very talented at what they did, but they represented themselves, their families, and the school, to the highest degree. They really are good people, and I think they're going to be successful in whatever they endeavor.
Girls soccer, 16-3, losing in the state Group 4 semi to Rancocas Valley. Kevin Brady, 400 wins. I've been working 28 years, and when it comes to girls soccer, I can only think of 2 coaches. Lou Cosa, who started the program, Kevin Brady. There might have been somebody in between for a year or so, but I don't know. But
I don't think so. But I think
that is an incredible continuity.
Yes, it is.
And to build that program from nothing up, and consistently GMCs, consistently in the state tournament, making some progress there.
And I use the word consistent. I think that's what I saw a lot from our girls soccer team this year. They were very consistent. Up front, I think Kayla Reed and Sydney Taha really, they were our biggest offensive threats. They really played well together. This team as a whole played very well. Our defensive side of the field was very good. We did not allow a lot of goals within the GMC. Our games, that we played were really dominated by us. We won a lot of 3-0, 4-0, a couple 5-0 wins within the GMC. We kind of ran through the red. We really ran through the GMC tournament as well. Our girls performed at a very high level there. And unfortunately, we got into the state tournament and we ran into a pretty good, I shouldn't say a pretty good, a very good Rancocas Valley team. They were very well skilled. They were strong. They were fast. There were some very athletic girls on the field on that side, and they did a great job. For them to do what they did to us and beat us the way that they did, they beat us pretty handily. But our girls represented. I mean, they played so well throughout the year. They were very talented, and they were just consistent. I mean, they really played well together. They were a great group of young ladies that played and worked very hard. I enjoyed watching their practice. I enjoyed watching their pregame. They were very focused. And they did a great job in preparing themselves to go compete. And
we go from soccer to tennis, another great successful season. I mean, we're just piling on the success here. Coach Mangino, 11-2, GMC champions. They lose in the Group 4 final to Marlboro. They win first singles. They win second singles. They lose third singles. They lose the 2 doubles matches, and they go down to Marlboro 3-2.
Yeah, look, our girls coming back, I think they knew that they were going to have an opportunity, and I think they ran into a Marlboro team that was better on that day. We really competed, and we did a great job throughout the year. Annika Schenker, Christina Steiner, and Naomi Karki were all Red Division players. They were also all first team, all GMC players as well, and they did a great job for us. A lot of our matches within the GMC, those girls really performed well, and they performed at just a higher level. They got us to a point where there was actually a 3-way tie in the GMC tournament. We tied with South Brunswick and JP Stevens, but our girls performed well, and they performed consistently throughout the year. I think the top 3 teams in the GMC are probably some of the top 3 teams, just within our groups during our state and our sectional tournaments. So, our girls are tested every year, and I think that's a credit to them. And they're prepared to get into the tournament. I think Coach Mangino does a fantastic job with our girls. She does a very good job of I think keeping their head right. Keeping them focused, getting them to work hard throughout the year to be able to be prepared to go up against the likes of the teams that we're going to see in the state tournament.
And to say that the boys' soccer team had a disappointing season is not fair, but compared to the to the accolades we've had here, 12-5-2 is a record.
Yep.
Losing in the quarters of the GMCs to St. Joe's, again, St. Joe's, and then losing in the quarters of the Group 4, Central Jersey Group 4 to Freehold. But still a successful season.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was a really athletic group on the field. When you watch this play, you kind of saw the athleticism, on the defensive side, the midfield, and on the offensive side. Our boys really, they played hard. But I will say this, a lot of what I saw within the GMC, there were a lot of very talented teams. There was a lot of really athletic teams that could match our athleticism a little bit. And I think that's what you saw. We had a lot of tight, close matches with a lot of the teams within the GMC, especially the red throughout the year, and then, of course, once we got into the tournament. But, it's unfortunate because in a year like this, with our other teams dominating and having such higher level seasons, boys soccer kind of gets overlooked a little bit. But
you still had one all GMC player.
Joe Carbone had a great year. He's a really talented athlete. I think he's a basketball player as well in the winter. He can move. He scored in bunches, and he had a lot of multiple goal games, and I think when they got the ball to him, it was always a good thing and always gave us an opportunity to score. But Ryan Berg and Gabe Espada were also all Red Division players. Ryan was a big defensive player for us, and he was very good. He's a young guy, he's a sophomore, but he's very talented. And Gabriel Espada was also probably one of the better goalies, I would say, in the state. I wouldn't even say in the GMC. I mean, he's a really athletic kid, and he played really well throughout the year.
Okay, and now we move to cross country. Just a quick note here about cross country, because they don't have dual meets or games like that. They're more like just kind of these organized big efforts here. And Zane Sauharwardi.
Yes.
Lots of fast times there. Kind of the standout from that boys cross country team.
He was a kid coming back that I think a lot of eyes were on him. Our coaches knew that he could be a very talented runner for us, and he has shown that as we've gotten into the tournament time of the cross country season. He has really improved his scores greatly. I mean, he's going to the Meet of Champs this Saturday. He's ran the 3rd fastest time at the sectional championships in our school history, and then overall at the groups. He also ran I think he ran a 16:01 at the section, and I think in the groups he ran a 16:33. So he's really been improving his scores. He's been kind of exciting to watch because he's been running some great races here as we get down the stretch, and obviously this Saturday is going to be the culmination of that cross country season. We look forward to seeing him improve upon and keep on putting the numbers up that he's putting in his runs. So he's done a great job. He's worked very hard for it, and he's a really nice kid. So our boys finished 2nd in the Red Division, and they finished 4th in the GMC. Our girls were kind of in the middle of the pack within the GMC and the Red, but unfortunately their season ended earlier. They didn't have any individual girls move on. Just Zane right now, and it's pretty exciting to watch them run.
And just a shout out for our cheerleaders, Coach Rosner. They really didn't have a chance, I guess, to do what they normally do in the fall season. But you said before we started taping that their competitions are going to start heating up now in the wintertime.
That's correct. They had the one GMC Invitational in the fall. Unfortunately, we didn't place in that one. But now we move to the winter, and that's where some of the bigger events take place. But our girls did a fantastic job, I think, throughout the fall. It was a great group of young ladies who performed on Friday nights. they worked very hard. I'll tell you, in watching them practice and watching some of their workouts, it started in the summer for them, and they went through the fall. And they did a great job in preparing themselves, and I think they're really gearing up for a special winter. We're looking forward to it.
And last but not least, the football team. Losing their first game to Old Bridge, now that the Old Bridge game is shifted from Thanksgiving to the first week of the season, and then going on an 8-game winning streak, but not playing at home.
Road Warriors. They were road dogs. Road dogs.
Yeah. And then losing in the state tournament there to Toms River North. But still, I mean, these are games that were dominant. I mean, Ben Solimini had, 3 games where he was rushing for 100 yards. You had, who was the other?
Franco de Guida. Nori Smith.
Nori Smith had 3 games where he's run for 100-plus yards. So there were some dominant performances there and on that 8-game winning streak.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Ben and Franco were shifty. Nori was just tough. I really liked watching Nori run. But, even on the defensive side, Romeo Diaz was fantastic. Craig Wade, Omar Rackley also had a great year defensively. You could just see our guys, though, get better as the year went on. I think from day one, we played much better defense week to week. I thought our line play got so much better. Our offense became so much more exciting as the year went on. So you really got a chance to see the growth in our football team this fall. Look, for the first time in I think over 10 years, they got into the state playoffs, and I know that was a big rally cry for them. And kind of got lost in everything in that we weren't even playing at home. We didn't get an opportunity to be in our stadium, but that didn't really matter. Our guys were just focused. Our coaching staff, I thought, did a fantastic job.
And that's a tribute to Coach Steinfeld. I mean, just to get those players to focus on the game and not worry about the fact that they had to bus everywhere to Sayreville or to Old Bridge to find to find a place to play. I mean,
it was a great group of guys. I mean, this team, when you kind of saw them on the sideline, you saw them in practice, you saw their work ethic. They were really a together unit. I think. I just think they worked hard for each other. Just in watching, little stuff like watching our wide receivers block to spring a big run. I think those little things are the things that kind of get lost. When you're watching a season kind of happen before your eyes, right? But it's those little things that I think made big things happen for our group of guys, and we were a fun team to watch. As I said. I thought our guys performed. I thought they stepped up big, and they were tested. In a couple games, the Watchung Hills game, Hunterdon Central game, it wasn't as easy in some of our other games. We had to really dig in and fight and battle to get the win and to get a big score to kind of put ourselves ahead. And we did that. I think they answered a lot of bells. They checked off a lot of boxes this year. Our football team and. When you start talking about things that haven't happened in 10, 12 years, I think that's where you see, that's when you're doing something special. And I think it's a big credit to Coach Steinfeld and the coaching staff, and I think it's a credit to our guys as well because they really worked hard to get to this point.
You mentioned the 800-pound elephant in the room here, the fact that the football field was damaged by the rains caused by Hurricanes Henri and Ida.
Yep.
Just, we don't have much time, but is it progressing, the progress in terms of evaluating and bidding out this job? Would we have this field ready to go next fall?
Yeah, I think it is progressing. I think we're doing everything that we can possibly do to have it ready. And look, it didn't just impact football. It impacted our field hockey teams, our soccer teams, even our cross-country team who works out in there, and a lot of their practice starts in there. So, it was a big impact. But look, none of these teams allowed that to deter them from what their goal was to come out every day and to work hard and to be successful on the field. And I think our teams did that. Our coaches focused our kids that way. And look, I think it's a credit to a lot of people. When you have to deal with adversity and you can still shine, I think that's a credit to our East Brunswick coaches and players.
All right, and that is our wrap-up for the fall sports season. The winter sports are now practicing. They're getting their teams organized.
Oh, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're breaking the rules. Sorry, but we'll soon have winter sports, and just keep an eye on the EBTV schedule to see when we'll be covering the winter sports, wrestling, basketball, for example. Hopefully some good matches there. And for Frank Malta, I'm Ken Saroka. Hopefully you get a chance to come out to watch some of these great athletes here at East Brunswick High School. And if not, EBTV is your place for this wonderful coverage. Thanks again.